I really enjoyed today, I must admit. Went to a new gym I've never been to before. It wasn't amazing, I'll be honest. The lighting was quite poor. We were trying our best to get some decent photos, some decent shots, but the lighting wasn't amazing. The facilities were okay. It was nice and quiet, which is kind of cool. But most importantly, I went with two of my closest friends. And we haven't trained together, the three of us, in what must be approaching 3, 4, maybe 5 years at a push. It's been a really, really long time. So it was a nice experience to share the gym with them again and come together after parting ways, so to speak, on this journey that is our fitness journeys, going in our own directions, learning our own things, and coming back together and sharing the knowledge we've acquired and the experiences we've acquired, so on and so forth. So that was fun. I really enjoyed it. And I decided to bench again. Now, this was a rest day in the program. Yesterday, I took 120 for 2, touched 120 for the first time since I first touched 125 on the bench. Took it for 2 yesterday. It felt good. The unrack wasn't the most stable. However, the reps themselves felt good. They moved well, they moved clean. And they didn't feel too taxing, to be completely honest, which was the best part. So today I decided, why not just jump on the bench again? I was showing a friend of mine some of the technique stuff that I'd learned recently that I'd been taught from a friend where I live, and teaching him to protect his shoulder, so on and so forth. So I ended up taking 100 for 5 as kind of like a last warm-up, just to see how I felt. I wanted to see how taxed I was after yesterday, and then I took 110 and then 120 again for some singles. And to be honest, the 120 felt easy, felt light, which was somewhat of a surprise, I guess you could say. However, I wasn't surprised either, because yesterday I felt like the only reason there was a tiny bit of shakiness, so to speak, on my 120 for 2 was simply because I haven't touched it in so long. It's literally been, it must be about, where are we? 4 weeks. It must be about 5, 6 weeks since I touched 120 on the bench. So it felt good. It felt good to touch it 2 days in a row, I must admit. It's most definitely a weight where I feel like I could come into the gym on any given day now and touch 120 on the bench for a single without a doubt. Maybe even without a warm-up, if I'm being completely honest. I hate to sound like big-headed, but that's how I feel right now, and it feels good, I'll be honest. It feels real good. I'm really happy with my bench at the moment. And I look forward to test week on the bench in particular, to be completely honest. I got the overhead presses in that I was supposed to get in yesterday. And I got them, it's a high volume week for the accessories, which is kind of nice because I was getting a bit, how would I say it, a bit beaten up by the heavy overhead presses in particular, especially that 38 for 8 that I did last week. That took it out of me. That hurt my back a tiny bit, partly due to just lack of focus on the form and just focusing on getting it up. So it was nice to touch some lighter weights on the overhead press today and get my form tight again, just feel stable in the movement and not feel like the weight was overbearing, and take it for reps and feel a nice burn. It was a nice experience. I'm really enjoying the overhead presses at the moment, I must admit. They are something that I hadn't had programmed and hadn't really done for a very, very long time. And I find myself taking to them very quickly. I must admit, I am feeling like I'm improving in the movement very quickly. My stability in the movement is improving very quickly, along with my strength in the movement, which is always a nice feeling. We can never complain at that. So I'm really enjoying the overhead presses at the moment. I am not doing them with a flat bench. I'm doing them with like the one setting after the flat bench, because I feel like it just allows me to be a lot more stable. And interestingly, so the person that taught me how to overhead press said it's probably one of the best and safest ways to do it. And one of my best mates who bodybuilds also says that that's how his coach tells him to do it. So I guess it can't be too wrong to do it that way. It feels good. Then I got my rows in that I was supposed to get in yesterday, but was just too lazy to do. And they felt really good today, strangely. My rows felt solid today. I'm not too sure why. I felt like it was really easy to engage my upper back. Maybe because of the stuff I was playing with yesterday. The T-bar row I was doing with Tom yesterday. Maybe that was the reason why my back felt super active. It was weird. It was really nice dead stop row session, I must admit. And I can't think of why. Besides the T-bar, I can't think of why. I've been doing a lot of upper back activation actually before my bench and deadlifts. So that's what the last 2 days I've done a lot. I mean like 15 to 20 minutes of resistance band work. So that probably explains why my back was really active. But again, if you made it this far, thank you very much, and I shall see you tomorrow.